So it's debate breakdown time. It was interesting. Bernie started out pretty weak. Bernie had a burst of energy and dominance in the middle, and then Bernie finished weak as well. So he started weak, did okay in the middle, did well in the middle, and did poorly at the end. Listen, Bernie's behind big time. There's no sugarcoating it. And he needed a dominant performance. As TJ Kirk said on Twitter, we needed Bernie to have his A-plus game and Biden to have his F- game. That didn't happen. I think we got Bernie with a 7 out of 10 performance and Biden with a 7 out of 10 performance. Biden had, towards the end, he had parts where he was pretty incoherent and, his brain wasn't working, but it wasn't as egregious as times we've seen in the past. I think Biden came out the gates hot. Honestly, for a lot of the debate, Biden was more aggressive than Bernie was, which is unconscionable and incomprehensible at this point. It's sad. It is. Because Bernie needed to come out guns blazing, and he only had a couple moments of that in the middle of the debate. But I do want to show you this. The debate started with an eyebrow-raising moment. During a pandemic, look at the first thing that happens with Biden.
Vice President Biden, let me start with you. We're in a reality right now that might have seemed unimaginable a week ago. Schools have been canceled for more than 25 million students. Grocery store shelves have been cleared out. March Madness, NBA games, Disney parks, Broadway, small businesses all shut down. And just today, the CDC issued a new recommendation that for the next 8 weeks, events that consist of 50 people or more throughout the U.S. be canceled or postponed. What do you say to the American people who are confronting this new reality?
First of all, my heart goes out to those who have already lost someone.
During a pandemic, the first thing he does in his answer is cough. Now, to be fair, the rest of the debate, he was fine. He wasn't coughing or anything like that. So I think he's okay. But it was just very strange timing. I can't get mad at him, though, because that literally just happened to me earlier in the show. I had something in my throat, and I started coughing quite a bit. But I promise I don't have the coronavirus. It was just something in my throat. Anyway, what Bernie needed to do in this debate is a few things. First of all, the poll showed that Biden was hammering him on the issue of electability. Biden was doing so much better on that issue with voters. And so Bernie needed to find a way to hammer home that he is the most electable and Biden is not. And he didn't do it. So the argument that I would have liked to see was comparing Biden to Hillary Clinton and saying that we ran this experiment in 2016 and the choice of the establishment lost and will lose again. You can compare him to Hillary. You could compare him to Kerry in 2004. And the other thing I would say, and this one Bernie touches on a little bit, is that there's no way Biden could win without the youth turnout, and I'm getting all of the young people. And I'm also getting overwhelming numbers with independents. So Bernie wins independents, Bernie wins young people, and you absolutely cannot win the general election without those two groups, and Biden's not getting them, and he won't get them. Now, instead of saying it like that, Bernie says, we're doing really well with young people. Honestly, I think at this late date, that's just too weak. You're not connecting the dots enough for people. You have to connect the dots. Hey, you can't win in the general without young people and independents. I get them. You don't. But he doesn't say it like that because that's impolite. And Bernie genuinely likes Biden. And so my friend, and he just throws things out there without really connecting the dots for people. So that's the first thing. Electability. I would have repeatedly compared Biden to Hillary, because also that would have made headlines if he compared Biden to Hillary. He didn't do it. He should have done it. Because that could be a light bulb moment for some people. Oh, actually, yeah, we did this in 2016 and the establishment lost. We're going to go with that again? Really? We're going to risk it? The second thing is we have the pandemic going on. And with the pandemic going on, if I'm Bernie, I'm stressing over and over, Biden's plan leaves 10 million people uninsured. That's not me speaking. That's him speaking. His own website says only 97% of people are covered. What about that other 3%, Joe? What about that other 3%? What do we do with people who are going to go bankrupt as a result of their medical bills? Bernie should have repeated over and over, I'm the only candidate in this race that wants to cover everybody, and you need that leadership in this crisis. And then the third thing I would have done is, on the issue of the market crash, Bernie should have said over and over, hey, I represent the continuation of FDR's legacy. FDR is the person that got us out of the Great Depression. I will get us out of this. Biden bailed out Wall Street the last time around. I will bail out working people. Now, he did kind of go after Biden on the issue of the Wall Street bailout, which is good. But again, he didn't do it. One of the things that's so important in politics is you have to, the way you frame things and the way you discuss them, it needs to be concise, to the point, punchy, and memorable. And it wasn't. I think, in my estimation, Bernie last night was very wordy. He was kind of like all over the place. And, that's good if you want to be an intellectual human being and you're actually serious about fixing problems. But unfortunately, that's not what sells. What sells in an election is short, to the point, punchy, and memorable. And I think things that are memorable is if he kept saying, I'm like FDR. My plans will get us out of this in the same way that FDR's New Deal got us out of the Great Depression. Biden's like Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton lost in 2016. Biden will lose this time. But again, he didn't say it. So, not going to lie to you guys. What's needed now is a bit of a miracle. I don't think there should be voting happening on Tuesday. It's insane that some states are letting that happen. 2 states postponed. A bunch of states did not postpone. It's crazy that they're allowing the voting to continue because we have a pandemic and you're putting people's lives at risk. I don't think we should have the voting now. But certainly if we do have the voting now, he would need a bit of a miracle because Biden's significantly ahead and Bernie did not do anything that I think will significantly change the nature of the race. I think however we went in to that debate, that's how we leave. And that's pretty upsetting, particularly because we have a stock market crash and we have a pandemic spreading, and Bernie is the healthcare guy during a freaking pandemic. And we're not connecting that dot of, hey, I'm the only choice in a situation like this. You need the healthcare guy during a pandemic. That is the most electable. I want to make sure everybody has the coverage. Everybody has health care. There's a pandemic. Everybody else is talking about half measures. I'm the real deal. So I don't think he did that, and I think it didn't really change the trajectory of this race at all. And it is what it is. We're going to have to deal with the fallout of it and just hope for the best.